31 people are dead and 400 are missing as wildfires in California continue to blaze. Good afternoon, I'm Lydia Nussbaum. About 3,500 buildings are gone and more than 8,000 firefighters are on day 6 of what is now considered one of the worst fire seasons in California's history. Officials are sending search and rescue teams to look for the 400 people still considered missing. In a White House address today, President Trump threatened to terminate America's participation in the Iran nuclear deal. The president accused Iran of violating the spirit of the agreement. Among his threats, to consider Iranian support of terror groups and slow down their missile program.
In the event we are not able to reach a solution working with Congress and our allies, then the agreement will be terminated. It is under continuous review, and our participation can be canceled by me as president at any time.
Congress must decide whether to attach new conditions to the agreement or reimpose sanctions on Iran's nuclear program. In just 24 hours, President Trump has made 2 changes to U.S. health care that he says will create flexibility for customers, but critics say it could upend the country's insurance system. The president has ended $7 billion in annual federal subsidies that help low-income patients, saying they were illegal to begin with. Yesterday, President Trump also signed an executive order that made health care changes as well. A new statewide study has some Jefferson City parents speaking out. The parents say they are outraged by the way the school district handles students with disabilities. KMUH's Shalita Norwood has more on their concerns.
Today I spoke with 2 moms who says their children have experienced the study that was done by the ACLU of Missouri firsthand. One mother reached out to us personally because she says she is not receiving help from the school system and needs things to get better for her children. Amanda Villa is the mother of 3 children who suffer with ADHD and explosive anger. She says her children have been put out of school for what she considers are minor infractions. Villa says she has reached out to JCPS for answers and hasn't received any help. She says the school system needs to change its procedures.
If a child is having behavior problems, such as mine and so many other students, offer other solutions. Don't let putting them out of school be the first, instinct. Give them that chance. Stop pushing these kids out of school.
I reached out to the Jefferson City Public School District and they were unable to meet with me. The superintendent says he will be able to speak about this problem next week. In the studio, Shalita Norwood, KMUH News.
Turning now to a Target 8 investigation. 2 families lost 2 women in a fatal car accident 10 years ago. The car hydroplaned, crossed the median, and hit an oncoming semi-truck. Today, there are still no barriers along that stretch of Highway 63, and we wanted to know why no guard cables have been installed. KMUH's Jasmine Willis is live at Celebration of Life, honoring the 2 women who died 10 years ago.
Every year, these 2 families get together on October 13th, and this year is no different. They come together to celebrate the lives of Elizabeth Shea and Whitley Bentledge. They also release balloons and light candles. And after the loss of life, these families have become advocates for cable guards to prevent more loss of lives on roadways.
It means a lot.
It started out like any other school day on a rainy morning.
The girls were traveling on this road, 63 North, going to Moberly to school at Merrill University.
Purtle took me back to where it all unfolded on a drizzly morning in October 10 years ago.
We all started calling her phone, trying to find out what was going on. No answer.
They didn't think it was good news, so I immediately left work and gathered with some friends as we waited to hear the final say.
They hydroplane, crossed the center median, and hit an oncoming truck.
As you can see, there's nothing that separates one side of this highway from the other side to prevent crossover accidents. And Purtle says that's why these 2 girls aren't here today.
These crosses are for Purtle's niece, Whitley Bentledge, who was 18, and Elizabeth Shea, 20, who were pronounced dead at the scene after they crossed the median and were hit by an oncoming semi-truck.
Well, it's been 10 years, and in those 10 years, more lives have been lost.
These are guard cables, and according to MoDOT's website, they prevent vehicles from crossing the median. It says head-on collisions are some of the most severe and deadly crashes. On Interstate 70 in 2002, there were 24 fatalities involving cars that crossed over the median. A year after guard cables were installed on I-70 in 2007, one person died in a cross-median crash. I pulled crash reports from the past year in Boone County on Highway 63. There were 21 total crashes, with 11 going off the left side of the road or into the median. I went and checked those areas for a guard cable and then looked at injuries and deaths. I found in areas where there is guard cable, the injuries were less severe. Areas with no guard cable had accidents with severe and moderate injuries, and one accident with a crossover fatality.
They do save lives, so I just wish that somebody would realize that, and I don't know what it takes to get that going.
That's the question Pirtle has been asking.
And then I reached out to MoDOT, trying to figure out what the process is. How do we get these guard cables up? Where do we go from here? And I didn't get a response back.
After Pirtle didn't get a response from MoDOT, she reached out to State Representative Chuck Basie, who says,
you can't really put a price on a life, but this is something that we really ought to try and push for, I think.
I reached out to MoDOT to find out what factors it considers when determining if guard cable needs to be installed. MoDOT Traffic Liaison Engineer John Miller says MoDOT looks at cross-median crashes, traffic volume, and median width.
We're always analyzing as far as trying to keep up on that concept, because we don't always know when a road may spike or traffic volumes increase to the point where the occurrence does increase. And so every year we're always monitoring, as best we can, is the cross-median crash occurrence starting on a road.
Miller says there has been a couple of cross-median accidents in the past 2 years. But ultimately, Miller says it comes down to money and
there's a lot of safety needs.
Guard cable costs about $120,000 per mile and $10,000 per mile to maintain each year. Installing guard cable along Highway 63 from Columbia to Moberly would cost about $4 million.
We have a lot of other competing interests and needs across our state, of a high concern also.
Pirtle says her fight for guard cables won't bring these girls back, but it could save the lives of others.
I just really hope that these guard cables will go up, not just here, but on any stretch of road that is like this, to help save lives, so other families don't have to go through what we're going through. We don't want them forgot. We want them remembered, and if it takes me 10 more years to get these cable guards up, then that's what I'll do.
I spoke to one of the mothers who lost their daughter 10 years ago, and she says for the past 10 years, she's just had to take it one day at a time. Also, MoDOT says that they're still waiting to receive the crash reports from 2016 to analyze them about that stretch of road. Reporting live in Columbia, Jasmine Willis, KMU 8 News.
Thanks, Jasmine. Switching gears, it's week 9 of Friday Night Fever. This week, the Montgomery County Wildcats travel to Kingdom City to take on North Callaway Thunderbirds. Let's send it out to Tim and Jim for a little preview.
Well, hi, everyone. It's week 9 of Friday Night Fever. We're live here in Kingdom City for North Callaway and Montgomery County. Should be a good ball game. We'll talk about that here in a second, but let's start off with the weather, Tim.
It's much better than the last couple of days. Finally, the sun is out. We did finally get some sunshine yesterday, but it's much warmer. I mean, we're almost 15 to 25 degrees warmer outside. It's pretty warm, and it's going to stay that way this evening.
For Friday the 13th, October, it
right.
is a little bit unseasonably warm. Going to need a coat, light jacket tonight or not?
Oh, definitely not. Temperatures look to stay in the 70s, which pretty much the last couple of nights, we've been in the 50s in the evenings.
And this weekend, more rain possible?
Yeah, more rain. We'll be talking about that here in a little bit because tomorrow evening we may actually have some strong to severe thunderstorms early on in the evening.
North Callaway lost the first game of the season against Soboco. They've run off 7 straight wins. 7 straight wins there. Montgomery County, they've got a winning streak, a 3-game winning streak. So you've got 2 really hot teams right now. Should be a good ball game. Much more Friday Night Fever in a few minutes. For now, we'll send it back to the studio.
The Missouri Special Olympics are well underway. We'll show you how athletes from across the state are getting ready to compete this weekend. And we have a special look at a new Missouri Task Force 1 training program coming up next. You're looking live over the Missouri River near Rocheport. This is KOMU 8 News, First at 5, coverage you can count on.
All right, well, welcome back to Friday Night Fever Week 9. This is a look over the Columbia downtown area off the top of the Broadway, on the roof on the Broadway Hotel. It's a lot of sunshine today. That's been a feature that we really haven't had over the last couple of days. We saw a little bit yesterday afternoon, a lot of it today after some of that overcast sky finally left. And finally, a lot of warmer temperatures here with us this afternoon, too. The last couple of days, we've been in the 50s and 60s. Today, well, look at your Missouri temperatures, back into the low 80s. It's anywhere from about 79 to 83 outside. It's pretty warm, even with that south breeze that's been kicking up all afternoon, a little gusty at times, as high as 15 to 20 miles per hour. Your 24-hour temperature change, I mean, really is, I guess, kind of the story for it. 15 to 25 degrees warmer outside compared to yesterday. It was a quick warm-up, all thanks to that south breeze, and it gets warmer tomorrow. Here's a look at your Friday Night Fever forecast. Again, we're over in North Callaway High School. First quarter temperatures for high school football games going to be in the upper 70s with a bit of a breeze, a couple of clouds still lingering around. No jackets needed for this one. Fourth quarter only dropping into the low 70s. It stays warm tonight. Here's a look at our severe weather outlook for tomorrow, too. This is the time of the year where you get these big warm-ups. It's not all that long-lived because it's just the jet stream does its thing and starts moving in some cold weather. That clash of warm and cold can oftentimes spark up severe thunderstorms. That may happen tomorrow evening out in western Missouri. Right now it looks like anytime after 6 o'clock, some isolated strong to severe storms could fire up and before about 9 o'clock start moving into western Missouri. Anytime after 9 to 10 is when it transitions into more of just a big rain event with possibly just a lot of lightning. And there could be anywhere from a half of an inch to an inch and a half of rain out of the system by early Sunday morning. Let's break this down on Precipcast here through the rest of this evening through 9 o'clock. I think they were just dealing with the clouds starting to move in. And then through tomorrow morning, well, some moisture starts moving in. We could see some light rain overnight and into tomorrow morning. That all breaks apart. Tomorrow afternoon looks partly sunny in the afternoon by 1 p.m., but a couple of those storms start firing up, all thanks to the cold front out to the west. And so it's from 6 to 9 p.m., that's when those start to initiate and then start moving into central Missouri. Those storms then move overnight through Sunday morning. By Sunday morning around 7 o'clock, most of those storms start to move into eastern Missouri, and then it's the clearing out process with a breezy, cooler Sunday afternoon, more sunshine. But it's a struggle to warm back to about 60 degrees, so good news on that. Raincast, though, here you go. More rain in the forecast, 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches possible for much of the state our computer models are putting, so that's good news for us there. More rain here this October after that very dry September. Here's a look at your forecast for tonight. 66 degrees, partly cloudy. A couple of spotty showers are possible after midnight tonight through tomorrow morning. A couple of those morning showers leave us, then we're partly sunny tomorrow afternoon. A high of 86 degrees, breezy outside, but then those storms roll in the evening. Here's your 8-day forecast, which has more thunderstorms in there for at least Sunday morning. Then it's dry for much of next week. More of a fall-like forecast. Temperatures will be in the 60s and 70s over much of next week. More from week 9 of Friday Night Fever. That's coming up here in just a little bit.
Some athletes have already won their medals in this year's Missouri Special Olympics. We'll let you know how hundreds of others are gearing up to win gold coming up next. nurses help people on a daily basis. But how do you train for the moment when someone's heart stops beating? MU Healthcare's Immersion Week allows new nurses to work in a simulation lab. Today they worked with both dummies and actors. The dummies' hearts can stop beating and have to be revived, and actors put on makeup to look like bruises. The lab lets nurses use their skills as if they were really responding to a life-threatening situation.
Having this space with other people who are all going through kind of the same thing not only gives us those relationships that we could then work with on the floor, but also that breadth of experience.
Immersion Week happens 3 times every year. The program includes nurses who are starting with less than 6 months of clinical experience.
We'll have details on President Trump's big health care moves and what they mean for those on Obamacare. Also, incredible survivor stories from the California wildfires and a children's hospital's unique perspective on the addiction crisis on NBC Nightly News.
Well, welcome back to Week 9 of Friday Night Fever. We're live here in Kingdom City for North Callaway and Montgomery County. Mike Emmons, the athletic director here at North Callaway. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Got some beautiful weather here tonight.
Yeah, I'm more of a 65-degree guy, but we'll take it. We won't complain about 80.
Your thoughts on the ball game tonight?
Should be a good one. If you've been following football this year, we've obviously been having a good season. We're at 7-1.
Yeah.
And, Montgomery County struggled early, but the last 3-4 weeks they've been averaging about
3 straight wins,
42 points a game, and playing good football. And if we win tonight, we win the conference. So this is a big one for us.
Sure. What's the playoff situation? Because in Missouri, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, we know we're going to be in the top 4, so we know we're going to host this week. But as far as who we're going to play yet, we're going to know that about 10, 11 o'clock tonight, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. But bottom line is you'll be here for Week 10 right here in Kingdom City.
You bet.
All right. Mike, thank you very much. Pass that on to Tim. And once again, the weather a little bit on the warm side. Yes.
Yeah, it's 80s right now, 70s for much of the game, so no jackets needed this evening. We do have some thunderstorms for tomorrow.
And, we've had our share of rain this past week.
We have. So far, pretty much all the month of October has featured a lot after that very, very dry September.
Very good ball game tonight. It's North Callaway hosting Montgomery County. Should be a good ball game. We'll have a very special feature about what the two schools have in common on